Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Alivia Brown and I am currently a fourth year undergraduate student at UCLA studying anthropology. And today I'm going to be reflecting on my favorite things that I have gained from the anthropology major. Now, on this channel before, I've made a lot of videos about the pros of anthropology, the cons of anthropology, why I majored in anthropology, and it's a lot of information, a lot of objective pros and cons. But in this video, I am actually in my last quarter of college officially. This is my last quarter as an undergraduate anthropology major, and so I wanted to switch gears a little bit and reflect a little bit more in the emotional sense and just tell you guys some of my favorite things that I have gained in this major that I really don't think you can get anywhere else. So without further ado, let's just talk about it. Now, this first point I'm going to be making really short and really sweet because it's something that I just want to document, and I don't think you guys will gain a ton, but hopefully it's something that you can relate to. And that is that anthropology is just something that I love. So to get the opportunity to study this for 4 years and also be making videos about this topic for 2 years almost online has just been such an incredible opportunity. I think above anything else, you guys should at least try to study what you love, because that's so many hours of your day that you're putting into your education. And if you can, hopefully you would enjoy these hours and spend it doing something that you find really interesting. And for me, that's anthropology, and I just am so happy and would not change anything about that. Now, the next thing that I've really loved about the anthropology major is that the topics that you're learning about matter. Now, as I approach the end of college and the end of my senior year, I find myself talking with my friends and talking with my peers about all these things that we wish were different about college, right? It doesn't prepare you for the workforce. You don't have any real world knowledge. All these things that, again, you're not really thinking about as a high school student and a freshman because they're not the most relevant thing, right? Now I'm in this position where I look back on college and my friends are looking back on college and saying, what did I even gain from those last 4 years, right? And in anthropology, I don't have these complaints really, and it just warms my heart completely. Now, what I've noticed is the things that I've learned in this major are very transferable into the workforce and then also just the global world. And what I mean by that is the things that I've learned in my major are incredibly pertinent all the time. These things that I learn in my classes, whether that's about disease or migration or whatever it is, they come up all the time in daily conversations. And I find myself thinking about, oh my gosh, I learned that in class. That's relevant to this conversation I'm having with my friend right now, or that I'm having with my parent right now, or whatever it is. And I'm constantly pulling these things, this information that I've learned from my anthropology classes in daily conversation and daily interactions. And if that's not a great skill or something really important, I don't know what is. Now, anthropology as a major is not perfect. No major is, but I can confidently say that I feel incredibly fulfilled and satisfied with the things that I have learned in this major. And I really do think it prepared me to be a real adult, for lack of a better expression, after I graduate college. The third thing that I want to talk about in this video today is actually the professors. And again, I'm not going to give this too much attention, but I really do think that the professors deserve a little bit of attention. And for anyone who may not know already, I don't think I've said that in this video, I'm actually an evolutionary medicine minor. So I spend a good chunk of my time in STEM classes, and I also spend a good chunk of my time in those anthropology classes. And after these last 4 years, you kind of pick up on things that happen within certain departments, right? Like there's a certain vibe, if you will. And in my experience, anthropology professors want you to succeed, and biology professors do not. Again, this is just personal experience. Maybe your college has had a different thing happen to you, but my biology courses are a lot harder. Obviously, I think that makes sense. But you have these situations where everyone in these classes are getting like C average grades. And that obviously causes a lot of stress on you for the entire quarter until you wait till the end and hope with your fingers crossed that the class gets curved up at the end, right? And to me, I'm like, doesn't everyone doing poorly on a test reflect badly on the professor? Maybe, But in anthropology classes, it's not like the classes themselves are necessarily easier. Anthro is an incredibly complex topic, but the way that the professors teach you and the way that they test you, I think, is incredibly consistent with the material and the things that they want you to take away. So your professors are rooting for you. They want you to do well. They want you to get good grades in your classes. I get really sweet emails from my professors after the class ends, and my roommate's like, my professor would never do that. The other little thing too about professors is they tend to have these really worldly experiences that they get the opportunity to share with the class, right? You have biological anthropology professors who studied primates in Costa Rica. You have sociocultural anthropologists who studied fashion in Italy. And then you might also have an archaeologist professor who studied ancient ruins in Spain. And these are real professors and experiences that I am pulling from. I'm not just making this up. I've actually had professors who do cool primate research around the world and study fashion in Italy and all these great things. That's real things, and that's just a tiny little fraction of all the amazing professors with amazing experiences that I've had. Part of this is also props to UCLA, but I'm sure so many other colleges have a similar thing and a similar department going on. Now, the next thing that I have on this list, it's actually related to some of the other points that I have made, is that anthropology is never too difficult. Now, people within this major are generally very passionate, right? I mean, if you think about it, anthropology is a degree that has this reputation for a difficult job market and is a little bit outdated. And that is very far from the truth. I will say that first. But it also takes a risk taker to engage in these kinds of classes and to say, you know what, I am committing myself to this major for the next 4 years because I love it so much. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get a career in this field. And again, the job market is great. Anthropology, if anything, is becoming more relevant now than it ever has before. But because of these stereotypes, it just tends to, it all compounds on itself and it's this big problem, and we need more anthropologists out there. So if you're watching this in the void and you're like, I don't know what to do, I clearly have an opinion. Hopefully I can persuade you, but that's not the point of this video today, so back to my point. Anthropology is never too difficult, and I think the reason for this is because the people in the major love it so much. Imagine looking forward to doing your readings or looking forward to going to lecture. Every quarter, at least one of my classes, if not two, are things that I really deeply care about. And I think because of that, even if the content is challenging, that doesn't quite matter because I love what I'm studying so much. If you are a chemical engineering major, if you love chemical engineering, that's going to get you through those classes. But if you don't really have this deep passion or drive when it comes to chemical engineering, it's a lot harder. Now, many of my peers, not necessarily within the anthropology major, choose what they're going to study because they have this hope or this dream of finding a good job later. And I do not want to discredit that one little bit. Finding a good job after college is incredibly important, and I'm in that position right now. I get it. I know what it's like to look for a job and go through all these interviews, which I'll talk about in another video eventually if you guys want that. Anthro jobs, I know we're all dying to see it. But what's the point of doing a major or doing something in school for a whole 4 years just for the hope of getting something else if you don't actually enjoy those 4 years, right? Like, that's time that you're tossing away. Now, I think it's a balancing act. We have to think about what we do want out of our major, what we love, what we enjoy, and what's employable. And I'm no expert. I don't know exactly how to find the balance between these things, but I do think it's something to consider and something that I always want to shed light on this channel. So yes, anthro students are very passionate, professors are very passionate, and I am clearly very passionate about this. So lastly, I just wanted to say that every college is definitely different. UCLA has been the perfect space for me. I love it so much. And you will definitely have a different experience in anthropology, so don't try to directly compare to me. And as always, just let me know what you guys want to know about anthropology in the comment section down below. I am so thankful for every single one of you who watches these videos and leaves comments down below. It truly makes my day. So yeah, my battery light is actually flashing, so I think I'm gonna go. But yes, I have some really exciting videos coming. But as always, just let me know what you want to see. And yeah, all right, that's all for this week, you guys. Bye.